everyone, Zelrant here, and Umamusume is just about 12 hours away from a global launch, so I thought now would be a great time to kind of talk about priorities for about the first month in what you're going to want to do in order to maximize the value of your account. But before we get into that, I thought I'd just make a quick push for my guild, which I'll have a link to the guild's Discord in my description. It's separate from my own personal guild since I'm part of a community that has multiple guilds. If you go ahead and click that link, we have applications for both a competitive and semi-competitive guild. If you're looking to get in one that is active, both of them will be targeting to get maximum rewards or that SS rank that will give you the most amount of pulls. So if you're looking to be in an active guild, just go ahead and that. And if you get lost on where to apply, you can either DM me or any of the mods on that server, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. But with that, let's go ahead now and get into the video here. So we've already discussed on a prior video on rerolling and the fact that you're going to want to prioritize in your rerolls trying to get at least one copy of either Fine Motion or Super Creek. And if you're going to go hardcore like I am, getting 2 copies of them. So that is already known. That is what you're going to be doing rerolling. And I'll be making a video on the actual process of rerolling once the game goes live. Now, part of that is you're not rerolling for specific Umas, but that is also because we are going to get a free SSR that's going to give you one random 3-star Uma as well as a selector. So when it comes to the random, it's going to be random. You have no clue who you're going to get with that because you're not rerolling for the Uma themselves. You're rerolling for the cards. You're just going to have to accept whatever you get with that random. So then it comes down to who are you going to pick with your selector. Luckily enough, this decision is not going to be something that's going to be game breaking if you pick the wrong one or that. And so they have a chart on this site, which I'll put a link to this in the description as well, where it kind of breaks down all of the Umas and their qualities and what they're good at and what they're bad at. But they also kind of have a flow chart here to kind of help you with making that decision, especially if you're wanting to kind of be a meta level type person. Umas aren't that important in that aspect. The support cards are way more important. So don't worry too much about these decisions. But when it comes to picking them, the big one is going to be the safe choice here they make, which is Ogori Cap. And she's actually going to be the one I want to get. I like the character overall, just the way she looks. But she is kind of that generic general unit that can pretty much participate in everything. She's good on all tracks, good in most things, and she can pretty much do all content. And being a good all-arounder is going to help you with doing all the content right off the bat versus trying to pick out specialized ones. But if you don't care for her too much, or you already get hers, the other good ones are going to be the ones they mentioned here, which is Maru, Zensky, or Tiaki Shuttle. And they're different. They're really good for specific scenarios. So they're more specialized in ways that can be used for scenarios and good all-around picks there. But on the flow chart, as you can see on the right here, why I said it's not that important, is if you have a favorite one, especially like if you watch the anime or you actually know the horses and you want to pick a girl that's named after like a favorite horse, go ahead and do that. I know plenty of people are going to do that. It's not going to be game breaking. Don't worry about that. Just pick who you want ultimately. So that is when it comes to the Umas. Now, later, after you get done with all that, and I think this is going to be done over time, so this is going to kind of be part of this here. We have a breakdown here of your first month in Umamusume. So once you get that done, you'll get the basic gameplay and all that done. You do your rerolls, kind of get familiar with the game like they say here. And then after you're good, you have your first week of gameplay. And so the biggest thing here, because I don't want to have to just read all of this, is this fourth one right here. Consider 1 to 2 10 pulls on the Uma banner to fill out your roster with the 1 to 2 star Umas. And that's one that kind of comes down to your choice here as well, as you're going to pick your favorite one, but they're going to not be good in certain aspects, and maybe your random one's not good in certain aspects as well, and so you might have a gap in coverage on certain types of tracks and scenarios. And that is where the 1 to 2 10 rolls are going to do for you here. You're going to be able to fill your rosters to kind of fill those gaps in your weaknesses or your initial weaknesses with 1 to 2 stars, which you can kind of think of like your SRs compared to SSRs from other games. And so plenty of options for all the tracks, and they have them listed here, which are going to be the best ones to fill those slots as you get them. So make sure to do that. Now, if you already have like good slots, if you get like some crazy luck, you might get SSRs on those pulls, and then you might be in really good position. But just know you're probably going to want to fill out your roster a little bit with 1 to 2 stars, just so you can make sure you can complete all the content in the game. From there, it's a very big deal that you start conserving pulls. And that's going to be because, now we're accelerated, so I don't know if this might be sooner or later. I think this is already taken into consideration, the accelerated schedule, is that in weeks 3 to 4, one of the best support cards, as I mentioned, they're the biggest things that impact your account, is going to come out that has the longest lasting value to an account of pretty much any card for a while. And that's the Kitasan Black SSR Speed one. And so this is what you're going to want to pretty much save all of your pulls up for. And this is why you're wanting to kind of fill out your roster with the 1 to 2 stars as well as just picking what works for you up here, because you're going to want to live with them for a little bit, because it's going to be advised not to pull on any other banners until that point. The reason is you're going to want to MLB this card. And MLB is getting 5 copies of the card. And it's like I said when it comes to the rerolling, the support cards, quality is much more important than quantity. So when you're rerolling, when it comes to dupes, you're going to want to get dupes of the good cards versus getting multiple different cards, because getting 2 copies of Fine Motion, or getting 1 copy of Fine Motion, 1 of Super Creek, or 2 copies of Super Creek is going to be better than pretty much getting 1 copy of them with any of the other cards in a majority of cases. And that's going to be the same case here. This card is broken to the extent that it's going to be able to carry you for what it says here is 1.5 years. Who knows how it's going to be with the accelerated schedule we're going to have. But even depending on how accelerated it is, it's still going to probably be really good for 1 year. And even after that, just because it drops off the meta, doesn't mean it's not going to be good. And one of the nice things is you can borrow cards from other people. So if you have MLB of this really top tier card, you're going to be able to utilize this card as like your main one. And it fits just about anywhere. That's the other part as well. So it's very flexible. And then you can always borrow a card from a whale, per se, someone that you have on your friends list or in your circle/guild that is whaled out and got another really good card at MLB. And then you're also going to have this other one, which it mentions in weeks 1 to 2, which are the welfare cards. So these are cards that are SSRs, but they're kind of like light SSRs. You can kind of think of them like the SSRs from, you played Honkai Star Rail, the SSRs from the one, I forget the name of it, the one event. They're like half SSRs. They're not true SSRs in terms of power, but they're better than the SRs. And so we'll actually get one called, right here, completing this. So the first event is going to give us a special week SSR welfare card. You're going to have that one maxed out. If you max out the Kitasan Black SSR Speed one, and then you can borrow a card from your whale, you're going to be able to build and train your Umas quite well right off the bat going into that first month. And then from there, after that, pretty much after it, you're going to be a lot more open to your options. And so that's kind of the highest priority. It's overall fairly simple in your priority planning here is you've done your rerolls, you're sitting good there with like Fine Motion and Super Creek or however those are going to be good cards that are going to be great for training. Umas kind of go whatever direction you want to go with those. Just pick who your favorites are. Just make sure to fill out your roster with the 1 to 2 stars so you can fill those gaps that are missing. From there, complete the event to make sure you get the maximum MLB of the welfare card, or it's the free SSR you don't have to pull for. That'll be really good for your account for a long period of time. And this is something that's missable. It has never returned on the Japanese version. So if you don't get it, you're not going to have it. And then after that, if you've been saving, once Kitasan Black SSR Speed drops, that is a huge pull for it, and try and MLB it. Now, even if you can't get an MLB with the pulls, it's not the end of the world, but you should dump pretty much all of your currency on it to try. You will be able to MLB it after through another currency that you can earn over time, so it's not the end of the world, but you should try and get max dupes of it if possible. And then after this point, you're going to be a lot more open to kind of making your decisions from there based on the direction you want to go. So they do mention right here some potential future pulls. I'll make those in a separate video. I don't really like to talk too far out, especially at the launch of a game, because you don't need to think about 3, 4, 5 months from now. This is kind of a big decision you have to make already, since you're trying to MLB a card. It's not typical in a lot of gachas, but it is significant enough because it's different than a weapon in a sense that you have with a lot of other gachas. The cards apply to all of your Umas and can train all of them, and that one's a very, very good generic one that's going to be good all around for a very long time for all of your Umas. And like I said, it's all about quality over quantity. Get less, but better cards overall. But that's just it. That's kind of the priorities for that first month. And then after that, I mean, that's my plan currently as well. Now, I will probably spend a little bit of money on the game, so I may deviate from this plan a little bit, but my plan is I absolutely will max MLB that card. But I may do some other pulls here and there, but that's because I'll be spending on the game. If you're free to play, you definitely want to try and save that if possible. Now, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, you can, as long as you get one copy of that, you can farm it up to MLB. It's just in the short term, you'll be a little bit weaker than a lot of the pure group because that is going to be a target for a lot of people. But that is it for now. I thought I'd just kind of bring it up. But if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.